That is so true. One way that we can do that is to send somebody a message of like why we appreciate them. And they must like receive it and be like, what? Why are you saying this to me? Obviously they feel the love and appreciation as well. And like you never know, by them feeling that, they then go on to do something that makes somebody else feel nice, and then that person does it for somebody else, and you could like start off this like domino effect everywhere.
I'll never see what the effect of this butterfly effect is, but I'm gonna just start it.
All that humans in general want is to be seen, heard, and loved.
Right now I have that on my mirror. I have thank you for courage as like an affirmation. So thank you for courage is like thanks because I'm getting it right now.
Yeah.
Cool. I haven't recorded with my phone like this for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing just like
Zooms, yeah, that's what I saw mostly on your channel. Yeah.
But I did used to record in person. I feel like it's been like maybe over a year ago or something.
Oh shit. Is that just because the people that you wanted to talk to were not in the vicinity?
I think that's part of it. Okay. But then I got like too comfortable with Zoom, so I just like, anybody, even if you're gonna say, let's Zoom.
Okay, so it's cool that you're branching back out to real life, IRL.
Yeah, something is happening. Like I've been feeling a lot of like anxiety or fear to do stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of weird, but I guess fun too, in some way.
Have you started recording, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to like introduce who I am or anything before we start
feel
talking?
free to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait, now should I look at the camera then, or look at you?
Just whatever feels comfortable for you.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm Simone and I'm an artist, and Nick and I have mutual friends. So Nick reached out to me because I'm also quite spiritual and into like self-development and growth and learning. So yeah.
Cool. I wonder, where can we start? I think first I would want to know, how did you get into spirituality?
I feel like there were like different layers of getting into it. The very first thing probably was, the very first step probably was gratitude. When I was in university, I was going through a tough time, and I went onto Pinterest, and I used to like look at the inspirational quotes on Pinterest, and they gave me like some comfort. And I saw the gratitude jar, and the gratitude jar is when you just write what you're grateful for every day, or however often you want to do it, and you put it in the jar. And then if you want, on New Year's Day, you can open it up and read everything. And I did that for 2 years straight at that time, and it completely like changed my life, and it's a huge theme in my life now too. And so that was like the me dipping my toe in there. And then I was kind of into the Dalai Lama. I think a big catalyst was when I read The Power of Now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was in 2018 or 2019. And when I read that, I was like, oh my God, like nobody has ever made me feel so seen and heard, like the way that Eckhart talks about the pain body. And I started to like experiment more with like being present, and I was like, whoa. And then in COVID, I think I got even deeper. And then at the beginning of 2024, I got even deeper. So it's really difficult to say like where or when, because it's like a deepening.
Yeah.
Lots of different deepenings.
Also, what is spirituality to you? What does it mean?
I think it's like realizing that we are all one.
Mm.
If I put it into like one sentence, I guess.
Cool.
What about you?
Yeah, like I was gonna, usually when I try to answer that question, it's like, I would say like finding out what I am not.
Oh, yeah, that's good, yeah.
And I think it might go in the same direction as what you just said.
Yeah.
Right, because if we are all one, then what is Nick?
Yes.
I think that's how my journey started. There was just some
Okay.
book that said like, what if you were the whole entire universe experiencing itself? Like, cool. So who's Nick?
Yeah. But so when you read that sentence, because like if for example, Simone from maybe even like 5 years ago read that sentence, she would be like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't understand that.
Mm.
Were you already like a little bit spiritual so that when you read that sentence you kind of understood it, or did you just immediately read that sentence and you were like, I somehow understand that?
It just triggered fear in me.
Oh.
Because, I mean, that sentence starts off really nice, right? Like, oh, what if you are the whole entire universe? Like, oh, that's so awesome. It's like, so who is the you that you thought you were?
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's kind of scary. But also, like, I like scary things, like scary movies and stuff. So I just felt like, okay, now I'm really curious and I want to find out more about it.
Okay. That is a little bit trippy because I was literally journaling about a similar concept this morning. And I was journaling about, because for me too, that's also scary. But when I think about it, like with my logical mind, I'm like, why is that scary? So why do you think it's scary for you?
Because it felt like, it's like, wait, so who am I? Like, it's like I don't even know who I am anymore. And I guess that kind of feels like, yeah, just like a lot of confusion and not knowing what reality is anymore. I guess that was scary, but also fun at the same time. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So after that, I knew a monk through Facebook. Like he lives in Funyuan.
Okay.
So then I asked him like, hey, what is Zen? Because I found that in a Zen book. I was like, what is Zen? And he just said, oh, come to my pagoda and we'll talk about it. So I went to his pagoda, and he was there just hanging out with like 3 friends. It was like 3 girls. So we were all just hanging out, playing guitar and eating pho and just chilling. And at the end of that hangout, he said, oh, take these books. And I was like, oh, cool. So I took these books and I read them, and one of them was Power of Now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, recommended by a monk.
Yeah.
Oh my
Kill
God,
and
that's
Borrow,
cool.
Power of Now, Beginner's Mind by Shunryo Suzuki.
Okay, I've not read that.
Some books by Krishnamurti, which now is my favorite teacher.
Oh.
I forget what else, but that was, yeah. But definitely Power of Now and The New Earth was in there. Yeah. Oh, and also one of the girls that I met in his pagoda that day, like after we met that day, we started a relationship and we were together for like 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we broke up like, I guess like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
But
So
yeah,
do you think
but
that was a synchronicity?
I think so.
Yes.
Feels like everything is somehow is a synchronicity.
Yeah.
Even if it's painful.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the synchronicities have been really wild recently, especially recently. I don't know how you feel.
I don't know. They just always feel wild. Yeah.
Like
But
the Luca one.
Like people have been telling me like there's something happening with the planets and stuff. Like I don't know about that at all.
Yeah.
Just life just seems like there's some insane synchronicity just happening. Yeah. Or for example, okay, this is pretty cool. This weekend, I went to my current girlfriend's hometown. And before I went to her hometown, I brought this book with me. It's called Stepping Out of Fear, because I thought it would help me with like my anxiety and taking action. I brought this book with me. I drove with her to her hometown, and on the way there we had this argument. Like, it was really challenging for me. I felt really stressed about it. And so the next day I opened this book to read it, and it's all about like childhood wounds and like emotional damage and stuff, and it was explaining what I had just experienced with my girlfriend. But I picked that book out before we even had the argument. It's like, what the fuck?
Yes, because time is not linear.
I was like, exactly what I needed to read was in this book that I picked out before we had an argument.
Yeah.
That I didn't even know was about that topic.
That is such a cool synchronicity.
Yeah.
So is that the thing, because before we met today, you were saying like that you had something trigger you yesterday, and I was like, me too.
Yeah.
So is that the part of the thing?
That was it, yeah.
Ah, okay.
It was like an old childhood wound of like, don't express yourself.
Don't express yourself.
Yeah, like stop talking.
Oh. So like, do you mean like that you guys got into the argument and you wanted to like say something, but there was part of you that was like stopping you from saying something?
No, like I was like giving my opinion on something. Like we weren't even arguing yet. I was giving my opinion on something. And one of the words that I used triggered her. So then she stopped me while I was talking and expressed her anger in a way that my reaction was like, okay, I don't know what to say now, because like a random word I said triggered her. So I'm not sure what to say now that I don't want to keep triggering her. So I'll just not talk. I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
Okay. And so did you not even give yourself the chance to say, oh, for me, this word is neutral or whatever. So I didn't realize that was going to upset you.
Yeah, like this happened as we're driving on a 1 hour long drive, and the drive had just started.
Okay. So you just went silent after?
I just kept driving.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know what to do. I'll just keep driving. Because like maybe if I tried to explain, maybe it'll just trigger her more. So I was like, maybe I'll just keep driving. I don't know what else, I didn't know what else to do. Yeah. So,
do you know, like, where in childhood that comes from?
Probably from my mom. Yeah. Like, I don't have the exact memory. Maybe I lost the memory, but my mom told my brother the story that when I was a kid, I was asking her something, and eventually she told me to shut up.
Okay.
And then I stopped talking to her.
Oh,
like the same thing, right?
Yeah.
The same pattern.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's the same exact pattern.
So, was it like one time that was very, I guess, traumatic for you, or was it like a repeated message? Do you know?
I think there were moments where I forgot that my mom would shut me down. So I would open up to her again, and then her response was something hurtful to me. And then I would be like, oh, that's why I don't talk to you. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, like it would remind me.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting better at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just taking some time.
Yeah. And the first step is awareness, right? That is such an important step, because like before that, we're just living out our patterns and reacting to things automatically and reacting to our reactions automatically. So even just like that first step of awareness is like such a huge leap from where we were before. Do you, because for me, with healing my inner child, something that's been helpful has, there's so many flies, has been like thinking about where did that come from my parent, because me too, I have parent wounds. So like, for example, one of my wounds is if I show emotions, I'm not lovable. And then where did I get that from? Why did this person give me that message? Have you done that with your... Yeah.
And then so for a while I felt that I hated my grandpa for hurting my mom, because then she hurt me, right? So, but then I was like, wait, but someone must have hurt my grandpa too, right? So I keep going back, and it's like, wait, I don't even know who to blame now because I'm going so far back. And if I keep going any further back, I'm gonna go to the Big Bang. So then it's like, do I just hate life? It's like, I can't hate life. That's not healthy to hate life. Right? So I have to find a different way to look at it.
Did it like give you any comfort to be like, at least to be like, oh, my mum gave me this message because my grandpa was giving her that message, and somebody was obviously giving my grandpa that message. Yeah.
I guess there is some comfort, right? Like it's not personal. It's just, I guess wounds get passed on.
Yeah.
And then I can pass it on too, or I can end the pattern.
Yes, generational pattern breakers.
Yeah.
It's such a big theme right now. And it's so powerful to do that. So powerful.
Like once you know it's possible, then it's like, okay, now I have to do this. It's kind of fucked up if I don't.
That's a lot of pressure. But
Yes.
yeah, because otherwise it just keeps on going and going and going.
Yeah. And it's already been going for a long time.
Yeah.
So here we are. How did you start learning about inner child and stuff like that?
I can't remember where I first learned about it, but I will say that somebody that helped me so much with all of that was the Holistic Psychologist. Have you heard of her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. She, like, I've been following her for a while. I think maybe she had like maybe a couple of hundred followers when I first started following her, because now I think she must have millions, maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Want to send her a shout out?
We love you. Oh my God, actually, one time she has this thing called a self-healer circle, which is like, it's kind of like an online course, and then she comes on for lives and stuff, and you can like write in the live chat to her.
Cool.
And I did that for like 1 or 2 months, and I wrote a comment and she mentioned my comment, and I was like fangirling so hard. Yeah, she's amazing. Her book, How to Do the Work, was like, have you read it? Oh my God, it's so good. You should definitely read it.
What did you learn from it? You have an ants.
What? No ants, right? No more ants?
No. I had one here too.
There's a lot of like writing activities in it. I think, firstly, it was like a moment, even just to be like, oh my God, I have this belief. And then also, I don't need to believe it anymore. Like, I can change that. It's not like, because, you know, for a long time they thought that genes are genes and you can't change stuff. And I feel like when you've had a belief for so long, we almost like persuade ourselves, oh, that's just me. I can't change that now. Especially old people like to say that. Yeah.
You know who you are.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's just me. I can't change that now. But it's like, well, you could. It's difficult. It's really difficult, but you can change it. So I think like it was shocking to be like, oh my God, I have these kind of subconscious negative beliefs. And then it was also like a revelation to be like, wait, they're not mine. I don't need them anymore. I don't need to believe them anymore. I can change them slowly but surely, like, and have new beliefs that are more realistic and more positive, you know? Yeah.
It's like one question I asked myself was like, okay, so if I can choose my beliefs, then what is actual reality?
Yes.
Because that was there before any of my beliefs were installed, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's so trippy. And like that kind of goes into the placebo effect as well a little bit, right?
How?
Because like with the placebo, your belief is so powerful that it eventually makes that your reality.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just like, I'm into Dr. Joe's work a little bit. Do you know Dr. Joe Dispenza?
I mean, I've heard of him through my friend Connor, and whenever I see his content, I know that he's on point. But I just haven't like delved deep into his content yet.
Okay. Well, he's quite interesting because he's like spiritual, but he has like a lot of science to back up what he's doing. But anyway, he talks about the placebo, and then I've been to one of his retreats, and I do his meditations every single day. I'm very in his philosophy. And then sometimes I'll be like, because he says, this is the placebo effect, so what you think you become, basically. So then I think, is the fact that I think that Dr. Joe is right makes him right in my world? Like, what is... Yeah, like the same thing that you said. Like, how can we ever know what is actually real?
But I guess there's something about him that makes you trust him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What makes you trust Dr. Joe Dispenza?
You know what? When I first saw him and his little videos and podcasts and stuff, there was something about him that I didn't trust because of the way he speaks. But then on the second day of me deciding I'm going to do a Dr. Joe meditation every single day, I had a mystical experience, like completely sober. And I was like, that experience was more realistic than anything I've felt on this earth. And I was like, whoa, like, and his breathwork techniques and his meditation got me there. And also there are lots of testimonials on YouTube, because a lot of people heal themselves of like crazy sicknesses through doing his work. Like things that doctors have said, you can't heal that.
Yeah.
So a combination of all of that. Yeah. So like I've experienced it myself, and other people are also saying like this worked for me. So I guess that is why I trust him.
So one of my friends, Hawk in Kentucky, USA, he'll say, I don't tell people I change, they tell me.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Cool, I love that. He's a coach. He's like a trauma healer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think specifically for people who had narcissistic parents.
Okay.
I think that's his niche.
So is that like somatic or like a talk-based therapy kind of thing? Do you know?
I think it's talking. Actually, I'm still taking his online course that he just like published recently. Yeah, I'll show you his stuff. He's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank
really
you.
cool. Yeah, like luckily I've been able to connect with lots of coaches around the world.
That's amazing.
And the cool thing is if you get them on your podcast, you get like a free coaching
Yes.
on the spot.
Oh my God, I'm gonna start that.
It's really fun. It's really fun.
Have you seen like people like somatic coaches?
That's like
doing
with
their
movement,
stuff?
right? Is that what it is?
Like some of it is movement and some of it is literally like people expressing anger in a room by like shouting or like
Cool.
you know, that kind of thing. And every
Nice.
time I see like a video of that on Instagram, I'm like, I need to do that.
Cool.
I don't know why. I think, like, for me, a big theme of 2024 was like that there's only so much healing that you can do with your like analytical brain, but that I'd kind of neglected that I am a whole body, and now I need to heal more with like energy and movement, like rather than, because like you can understand something logically, but if your body is like not there yet, you're kind of like working in opposition, I think.
It takes time for like your nervous system to adjust,
Yeah,
right, to what you
yeah.
learn intellectually.
Yeah.
Like intellectually, like you know, like, okay, like we are one, but then something in like, like your brain's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like this person's shouting at me, like, are we really one right now? I don't feel like it.
Yeah, right. How does it feel to sit on grass? It's alive, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think 2025 be in nature more, because Saigon is so like bustling city, loud noises and stuff. Do you get in nature much?
I should do it more. But when I get to sit on grass, it feels really nice.
It does, yeah. And I
Yeah.
feel like I have a weird fascination with trees as well. So just like being around trees is like...
I think you would like to go to like the jungle or something.
Maybe, yeah. I'm more of a forest girl though. Yeah. I think, yeah, maybe because it's like cooler and I'm from Scotland, so it feels more like, yeah. But you know, like most people really like can't stop raving about beaches, and like I used to be like, because I was like scared of like expressing myself authentically and being different, I used to be like, oh yeah, beaches, woo. But deep down inside I was like, beaches are okay, but forests are so cool.
Cool.
What's your opinion on beaches?
I love beaches.
And it's a genuine love.
Yeah, I love the ocean specifically.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's alive.
It is alive, but I think that scares me a little bit.
Yeah, like it feels different than a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Because the beach, I mean, like the ocean can actually change speed, like while you're in it.
Yeah.
And it's like what? It's like what? I can feel like this whole mass of water just changed its speed. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's so like powerful.
Yeah.
It's like powerful and calm and beautiful and everything all at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like it has like emotions.
Yeah.
Like when I see, like I love when like there's like a storm, and you can see like the clouds changing and just the weather change. Then I feel more normal. It's like, oh, even the planet Earth has emotions too.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I don't have to be so judgmental about my own emotions.
That is so beautiful. Thank you for saying that. I'm gonna take that on too.
Like it's something natural.
I feel like a sense of relief when it rains. Could be because I'm Scottish, but I also think it's like something to do with like, it's like the sky is crying, and it makes me feel like, okay, we're not all, yeah, the same thing. We're not all like sunny all the time. But then in Scotland, I don't think I feel like that as much because it's just rainy all the time.
Oh, really? Wow. How often do you go back home?
I haven't been back home since I got here this second time. And the first time I lived here, I didn't go back home either. But I will definitely go home this year because my best friend's getting married in September or August. So I will definitely go home for that. But yeah, I haven't. Yeah, what about you?
I usually go like once a year. But actually, like, before COVID happened, I didn't go home at all. So I was here for like 3 years.
Oh, 3 years straight.
Yeah, without going home. And going back home was so weird. Like,
oh my God, yeah. Do you get reverse culture shock?
I got culture shock going back home and back to Vietnam. I got it again.
Yes.
And it was harder coming back to Vietnam.
Yeah, I had that after I went to America for the retreat, and then I came back here and I was like,
Where in America was the retreat?
Denver in
Denver,
Colorado.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow, I've never been there.
Yeah. I didn't really get to see that much of Denver, to be honest, because I was only really there for the retreat. But when we went outside, I was just like, oh my God, like the air smells so nice. I feel like it was kind of almost like a pine tree smell. I don't know if they have pine trees there, actually, but it smelled like that to me. And you don't smell that here. So I was like, oh my God, it's so good. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I'm from Virginia.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I grew up in Virginia, and my family is from Peru.
Okay, yeah, I think I saw that in one of your videos.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. How much of a part of you is your Peruvian background, would you say?
I don't know, I feel like my Peruvianness is pretty similar to like Vietnamese culture. But yeah, I think that is like a deep part of me. Yeah, like family values, like maybe like a connection to nature. Yeah, even though like now I know that like nationalities are just stories, right? Like it's not even a real thing.
Yeah.
So I've kind of let go of my identity as whatever nationality I am, but I still feel a lot of influence from Peru. And I'm trying to remove the parts that are not needed, that are toxic, because they are toxic. I mean, I think every society has the toxic parts and the healthy parts. So I'm trying to just keep the healthy ones now.
So like connected to nature and very family orientated. Is that like
And also I do love football, like soccer.
Okay, yeah.
I love soccer. And my favorite team is the Peruvian national team.
Okay.
Even though I don't really care much about nationalism or anything, I love that when Peru wins, my family is happy.
Aw, that's
and
cute.
Also, people that look like my family members are also happy too. So I like that. Yeah. And I love seeing how coaches will try to coach the Peruvian national team, because to coach them you have to have a very specific type of method.
Okay.
Like you have to be like almost like a father figure type of person.
Oh.
Where if you're like the guy that's like, you better fucking it doesn't work on these players. You have to be a father type figure.
Oh, is that maybe linked to that it's very family orientated?
I think it's part of that. Probably has to do also with maybe the way we were colonized too, because Peru was created by Spaniards. Before that, it was called something else. Yeah, I think Peru is just like the name Peru, if I'm not mistaken, was just like some Spaniard guy was like, hey, what's that place down there called? And someone's like, oh, I think it's called Peru. And I was like, oh, cool, Peru. All right, that's Peru. Now let's take it.
That's funny.
So in reality, I don't know how much of Peruvian. No, there is Peruvian influence in me for sure.
And where is Virginia? Like, I'm so rubbish with, because America's so big, there's so many states. Like, where is it on America?
It's on the East Coast, and it's right next to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So I used to live in Virginia and work in D.C.
Okay.
You can take like the MRT and just go back and forth.
How long does it take to?
About an hour and a half. At least from where I lived, like 1 hour and a half.
Oh, is that common to do that?
It's pretty common actually. Yeah. But then like the commute in one day, like both ways, is 3 hours. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. And you've already worked.
Yeah.
So do you have any free time when you live like that?
There's some. There's some. You know.
What made you move to Vietnam?
I knew that I couldn't stay in Virginia any longer. I reached like my limit point. I just can't stay here any longer. It's like also problems in my house and stuff. Yeah.
Were you still living at your parents' house before you came here?
Yeah, I was living with my mom.
Okay.
Yeah. And it got kind of unbearable, basically.
Yes, I definitely can't handle.
It's challenging. Even when I went back home after being here for 3 years, I was even like scared to go back to my mom's place. I was like, can I even handle living there again? Like, but I managed to live there for 6 months. Yeah.
Oh, nice one.
And then came back to Saigon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked out somehow.
Do you ever feel like this? Like sometimes when I go back home, especially to family, I feel like when you live abroad, maybe not actually, maybe it's also because we're spiritual and stuff, that sometimes when I go back home, it feels like I've changed so much. Like the core of me is still the same, but I've changed so much. And then when I go back home, a lot of the people around me have not, and it's like another layer of jarringness, because it's like you've got your reverse culture shock, and then you're like, oh my god, I don't feel like I belong here. Yeah, it's really weird. I feel like in some ways, like living abroad is a little bit bittersweet, because I feel like probably from now on, I'm always going to go back home and feel a little bit like an outsider. Like a little bit. And it's not the fault of anybody there. It's just that, I don't know, that I've like widened my perspective of experiences so much that to go back home, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, have you ever felt like that?
I did feel that when I went back home, many people were like almost exactly the same as how I had left them 3 years ago. Yeah. I also saw that like in people older than me, that they hadn't worked on their healing, and it was noticeable. At least from my eyes, it was noticeable. And then it felt like they're gonna have that for their whole lives. But I don't think they're ever gonna heal. Even though I know they can heal that, but I don't think they're gonna try.
No, yeah.
And that will just be how they live for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. And especially if they've got the mindset of, oh, like, I'm not gonna change. This is me. That's something I can't change.
And I guess the only way that I can help them, because if I tell them, hey, why don't you heal? Like, it's not gonna.
No.
It's not gonna help. I think just the best thing I can do is to give them the compassion they thought they didn't deserve. And then that kind of like not tricks, it just kind of confuses their brain, their nervous system.
It does,
it's like, they're like, wait, why are you being nice to me right now?
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
That is so true. I feel like I actually did this today. One way that we can do that is to send somebody a message of like why we appreciate them. And they must like receive it and be like, what? Why are you saying this to me? But then it's also like, obviously they feel the love and appreciation as well. And like, you never know how by them feeling that, they then go on to do something that they wouldn't have done if you hadn't done that, that makes somebody else feel nice, and then that person does it for somebody else, and you could like start off this like domino effect everywhere. And all that started it was like one person being like, hey, I really appreciate like that you're so vulnerable and blah blah blah, and you know, they receive that and it changes their mood and energy that day.
That's true. That's true.
The domino effect like blows my mind. It's so crazy. And I feel like, you know, Did you watch The Simpsons when you were younger?
Not really.
Oh man, because I feel like they had a couple of episodes about like the butterfly effect. And as a kid, you'd watch it and be like, ha, yeah, that's funny. But then you don't really like feel the depth of it until you're an adult and you like see it like happening. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. Like you can't really like see how it's affecting different things like that.
Yeah.
Cool. I think my favorite thing to do now is to like, I guess like rewire people's brain. I don't know how to say brain.
Yeah.
Nervous system, without them even knowing it. Like.
Ooh, you're like a little sorcerer, a secret sorcerer.
But it's always like something. It's always like something empowering. That I'll do it intentionally, and I'll just do it, and then just wait for them to notice.
Walk away.
Yeah, and just watch the butterfly effect. Maybe like the next week or something, I'll see. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, can you give an example?
All right. I had to cover a class recently, so I met these students. I knew I would never see them ever again. Right, so like while they were doing a worksheet, I would just ask kids random questions like Messi or Ronaldo. Like just some random kid,
Yeah.
especially kids that don't speak English.
Yeah.
Because they would assume I'm not going to talk to them.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So like, hey, Messi or Ronaldo, and he's like, Ronaldo. Like, oh yeah, sure, good. Just something so simple.
That's good.
Like it's not even rocket science. It's just like making someone feel heard.
Yeah.
Basically. That's it. So what do you think about baby tree or Labubu? They're like, Labubu. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. I feel like when I was teaching, just because you were talking about teaching too, I really saw that as well, that all that humans in general want is to be seen, heard, and loved. But kids are more blatant about it. And to be that person as a teacher, to like you said, like sometimes students that can't really speak English, they assume that you're gonna not even interact with them. But even to like, you know, they you know, they couldn't make a sentence in English, but they could understand what you said, and you just like giving them eye contact and being like, good job, like that one moment, and you can see it in their faces like totally light up, and that's something that I miss from teaching, definitely.
And like for that class, like that was a cover class, so I knew I would never see them again.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna give you as much as I can now because I'll probably never see you again. And even though it's kind of like, you know how they say like planting seeds for trees you will never see grow.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll never see what the effect of this butterfly effect is, but I'm gonna just start it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wish I could see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll meet them again. Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, and like for me too, like I can remember in school the teachers that made me feel seen and heard. Like it wasn't about who was the best teacher or who was the, I don't know, most qualified teacher. It was about what teachers made me feel like the most seen and heard. What teachers like kind of got down to our level and made like learning fun and creative, and you know.
I feel so surprised that it's not like part of the education majors curriculum. Like if you major in education, shouldn't there be like an entire course about empowering students?
Yeah.
Or is that not important? Right? Like I'm really curious about that.
Why do you think that's not a part of it?
That's the dark part. Because then it's like, yeah, then what is the purpose of education? Or what is the purpose of public school? Is it really to empower people?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have to go there.
I wish it was. I wish that was the purpose. But the evidence seems to be not.
Yeah.
It seems more like a funnel. Like we're funneling them into something.
Yeah. I agree.
And I'm working as part of this funnel, knowing it's a funnel and seeing how they're getting funneled, and I'm just trying my best to empower them as much as possible.
That's all you can do, right?
Yeah.
Because to make like a big change to get them out of this funnel, that's going to take like a lot of people like at the same time wanting the same thing together. So as individuals, what can we do? We can just give them little bits of empowerment, like this is what we're doing today, but also you trust yourself and your intuition, and like you can do it, like, you know.
Or like I try to tell them like, okay, like your test is tomorrow, and your test is just a game. It's just points. You play the game, you win the points, then you go home and you eat some pizza or something. That's it. But then they're like, no, it's not a game. This is really serious.
Oh yeah, and they get so caught up with the scores and stuff here. It's really heartbreaking.
They get really stressed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, the Asian stereotype is true.
It's like get a good score or feel ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
even worse sometimes. True. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, shame is really powerful. And some people know how to use it.
Yes. Have you heard of Brene Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she talks all about shame.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. What? She's got like a phrase that she uses. I can't remember what it is now. But she really goes into like that shame is such a powerful emotion. Like in disempowering us, you know, and keeping us like small.
Have you heard of Dr. David R. Hawkins?
I have, but I can't remember what this.
He's a psychologist who's also spiritual, and he attempted to make like a chart of all our emotions.
Oh, yeah.
And the last one at the very bottom was shame.
Yes.
And this one above it is guilt.
Yeah.
So like guilt and shame are not exactly the same.
Yeah. And I feel like hate is above that, right?
Could be.
Because I remember being like, what? Shame is down here, but hate is up here. Like, that's such a, like, mind-blowing moment. And guilt as well. But if you think about how the emotions of shame and guilt feel in your body, they do feel very, like, ugh.
And when I think about guilt, it's like, guilt feels like hate towards what I did. And then shame feels like hate towards myself.
Yes.
And I guess that's why it's the lowest.
Yeah.
And then anger is somewhere above that, right? At least anger gives you some momentum to move in some direction.
Yes, that's true.
But then it's also not the healthiest way to keep taking action.
No, yeah, of course not. It's still on the negative side, right?
So then a little bit above anger is courage. I guess to keep taking action without having to rely on like your hatred.
Yeah.
So right now I have that on my mirror. I have thank you for courage as like an affirmation.
Oh, that's nice.
Like I learned that affirmation, like saying thank you for something ahead of time. Instead of like, oh, I wish I had courage, because that's like still like hoping that one day I get courage. So thank you for courage is like, thanks because I'm getting it right now.
Yes, I love that. Speaking of that, I actually brought my affirmation cards. Would you like to pull one?
Please.
Yay!
Yeah.
I already pulled mine today, so I can tell you what one I had, but they're really beautiful as well. I don't know if you know this, I actually host a create your own affirmation poster workshop.
Whoa, sick.
Yes.
Awesome.
So we pull these and then we make our own affirmation poster. Oh yeah, so this is what I got today. Well, let's do yours first though. How should we do it? Because usually I like put it in a circle, but I feel like it's gonna get dirty.
I think you should just do it like a
fan.
Yeah, like a fan.
But you're gonna have to close your eyes because they have got stuff on both sides. Okay.
I'll just look this way.
Right. Ready?
Does it matter which side I read first?
No.
This says, I am safe to share my authentic truth with the world. And here it says, wow, there is medicine in my words. There is medicine when I communicate my truth with the world. I remind myself that I can only be truly seen when I allow myself to be heard. I open myself up to full expression of self. And I literally wrote a blog on this topic today before coming here. Yeah.
So how does it make you feel to feel that?
Yeah, it feels like like synchronicity, like I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
Like reassurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Awesome.
I actually pulled that the first time I hosted the affirmation workshop. Yeah.
What is this box called?
Um.
Oh, it sounds like Spanish.
Yeah, I think it is.
Cool. Your inner diosa. Cool.
What does that mean?
Diosa means goddess.
Oh wow! Thank you. Do you want me to share mine?
Yeah.
So I got, I'm whole even when I feel lost. I, like the moon, am whole in all my phases and stages. And they've got really beautiful, like, illustrations. I know now that the moon is not more beautiful in one phase than another. She is not more worthy in one phase than another. She is in motion, evolving, and so am I. So am I.
Wow. I didn't think about connecting the moon with expressing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The different phases, like
Yeah.
not any phase is more beautiful than the other.
Right.
It's just like part of the circle of beauty. Without one, it wouldn't exist.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love these.
So then I wonder which phase am I in right now?
Yeah, what if you could, I feel like this question came up recently. If you could give like a name for the phase of your life right now, what would you call it?
I think it's something related to courage. There's something related to expressing myself. Having the courage to express myself.
Yes.
Something about that.
Yes.
It felt easier before when nobody was watching, but now that more people are watching, now it feels scarier.
Yeah.
So now I need to just get the courage to keep expressing myself.
Yeah, the fear of being seen, right? And your full expression of yourself, rather than just the parts that we think are okay to show people.
Yeah, to fully express myself, not just to say what I think is expected, but to really to say what I actually feel.
And emotions too. Like not only showing people when you are your best self, like yeah. I'm definitely working on that too, just now.
I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah. Thanks.
We're doing a really good job. Next thing now, I have to head out. I have to go, or I'm trying to stop saying have to, and to say get to.
Get to, yeah.
Yeah, I get to go on a hike now.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Are you going out of the city for that?
No, I'm going to Tanvin, like near the airport.
Oh, is there somewhere to hike near there?
I have someone just invited me. So I'm just gonna show up and see what happens.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
I have no idea what to expect.
Ooh.
Yeah, thank you so much. And,
thank you, it was super nice to chat.
I want to see your affirmation poster event. I want to see what that's like.
Yeah, oh well, we've got each other on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So I usually post it on there.